Let's get the modcast rolling. Texas OU week is always special, but this week does have a little bit of a different feel, but we're going to try to fix things today. We got mods for you. We got Anwar Richardson. We got Jason Sukamel. We've got Alex Dunlap. And most importantly, we have you in the Specs chat. Fill it up with chats. We would love to get your super chats today. How would you fix things? Sark's got to fix it, and he's got to fix it with the guys he's got. Fellas, that's exactly where I want to start. And for all of you, for all three of you, do you think Texas found their new left guard last week? Let's start there. By the end of the game, Brooks had gotten a look. Do any of you feel like that's a little bit of progress in that, okay, now that's the guy? Or are we really going to look at a rotation of like three guys at a position like that?
They don't have three, really.
Okay, so Alex, for you, and I know I know there are a lot of people waiting for
you
the
NATO, you got Snow, you got Brooks.
They haven't played.
If NATO isn't even a factor anymore, but
I'm not even sure. Yeah, it feels like
Kibble, man. I mean, hell, you might as well throw them all out there at this point. I mean, I'll let Alex. I'll defer to Alex on this, but like. My short answer is hell no. Nick Brooks isn't the answer based on what I saw on Saturday. So
okay,
Alex is probably knee deep grading him. So
I mean, Alex did after kind of looking. I know the offensive deep dig as we're doing the show right now. I don't know that you've had a chance to go through everything yet, but like, is there at least that sense for you that maybe they found the guy?
I mean, look, whenever I post a deep dig, I'll have my final analysis of it, or at least my final analysis of this game and his performance in this game. But I will tell you that, so he came in the third series, played the third series and the fourth series. Then Stroh came back in on the fifth series, the last series before half. You remember that's the one where he gave up the sack that left the fan base completely on tilt. And I think probably the play that was the one that's going to stick in Kyle Flood's craw the longest, just because it was so emblematic of all the things about Stroh's game that can be frustrating, with just getting his weight out over the balls of his feet, losing his balance, allowing himself to, allowing the defender to be able to use his overextendedness against him and just kind of go by and, get an easy sack. And so seeing it in isolation like that from the end zone camera where all the fans could kind of see it, it was a tough look for that guy on that play, but it's something that we've seen all year. Not in every play. He's been serviceable at times, but the blow-up plays have looked like that. With Nick Brooks, I will say, when he went in there, certainly he's a guy that can move bodies. He definitely already has better feet than Connor Stroh. But, I mean, dude, I've only done him for 3 series so far, for 10 plays, and he's already allowed 1 run stuff and 2 pressures. In 3 series, just they're right in the middle 8, just right at the end, right in the middle 8 too, man. Like,
yeah,
that's it. Like, so,
I mean, we all know what game this is. Anwar, you know what game this is. You sat in that press box. You're about to do it again. It's a special thing. It's a special place. Left guard against OU. Feels kind of that, against, and I know that, and that line's got its own challenges, but like, do you have a gut feel on this of what we'll see in that first wave? Do they go back to Stroh? Do you go with Stroh because he's given you, I don't know, more snaps overall than anybody else? Is that probably what they are going to have to do?
I saw Alex's reaction. Hold on. He had to look at disgust.
Well, I don't know the answer. I'm just right. like you throw your hands up. You're like, well, what? I don't know. Like, I'd be curious to hear what Anwar says. Like, I don't know.
I mean, it doesn't. I don't know if it matters, Chad. Like, I don't know what they're swapping guys in and out because they can't find the answer. So, I mean, who's the person that you would say, like, okay, you do that. Like, they're trying to find it. They're searching for it. They're desperate for it. They just don't have it. And so, I mean, I know that's not the best answer to give you, but I don't know if it makes a difference because I don't know who's really made the difference over the last few weeks that you've seen. And definitely it was exposed. You saw leakage obviously, a little bit Ohio State. You saw leakage surprisingly against like a UTEP, and you're like, that's kind of weird. Like this is happening, but it was definitely, it was the floodgates on this past Saturday. So I can't tell you what I don't know who you throw in that stops anybody from that Oklahoma perspective.
Yeah.
I see what you did there. Floodgates.
Floodgates. Do you catch that, Jason? I was just about to ask, was floodgates intentional?
Oh man, I wish I should.
I use that headline on more.
I should have taken credit for it and said I came up with that, but damn it, man! I accidentally stumbled upon this in our jam session. I'll use it in the future.
You should have had somebody with a drum and a cymbal in the back. That was perfect. And that maybe what we're looking at. I also had a question. Maybe this is specifically for Alex after doing the deep dig on defense. So Alex, you watch this stuff closer than anybody I know. So I'm going to tell you, I watch every Texas game twice, once when it happens, and I'll go back and roll through the TV, broadcast. But you obviously watch a lot closer than I do. If I say to you that against non-Power 4 teams, I feel like Murad Watson's looked pretty good. But against those 2 Power 4 teams, I feel like I see him getting pushed around a little bit. Is that fair?
It's certainly fair versus Ohio State. It wasn't quite like Ohio State versus Florida for me, because at least versus Florida, he had a pressure. I'm not sure what the school had him for, but I had him for being in on 4 total tackles if you look at assists plus solos. So I don't think that Murad Watson was as much of an issue. I think that just the whole defensive line as a whole was getting they were all allowing a little bit too much push outside of maybe Brevard, who's just like, he just hunkers down. He's just really hard to move. Mm-hmm. But Alex January, Hero Canoe, even Travis Shaw to some degree, and Murad Watson to a certain degree, right? And what you saw it resulting in was what was leading on some of these explosive runs to just I would just call systemic failure because it was like, you could say that, Lefau or Anthill or any of these guys, that they had bad run fits and stuff. But I think whenever a defense is sort of built around a superstar guy like Anthill and things are like, so whenever you're getting your defensive linemen, even if they're not getting put on skates, like we saw all the highlight clips of Murad Watson versus Ohio State, right? He's not getting put on skates, but they're certainly generating movement on him. And when you do that, it makes it harder for you to spill and for you to fill and for you to do these things where you're kind of having to get over the top of guys and make sure that you keep your gap integrity. And I think with Anthill, he played a great dude to be able to rack up like double-digit tackles and get a fumble recovery and stuff like that. I mean, I think for him, like, that's a pretty good game. The other part was Texas in this game had at least 3 like really bad blown contains. Colin Simmons had 1 blown contain. Grayson Littleton had 1 blown contain, and Trey Moore had 1 blown contain. And you guys can probably think back to the games and see those, but those were plays where a guy like Anthill was set up to, if they funnel that runner back inside, he's going to demolish him. Do one of these Anthill punch out type of things. So I think that whenever things weren't working, things weren't working on defense. So like it wasn't just what's happening with the defensive front. I know that was front and center and what you see most when you're watching the broadcast copy of the game. But man, on the back end, Texas more coverage burns than they've had. Like Kobe Black had 2 coverage burns, both versus Dallas Wilson. One was terrible, the one that everybody remembers. And I don't think that there should have been a flag on that play. I think it was perfectly fine what Dallas Wilson did.
It was in the 5 yards, right? He put the hand on his chest with about 3 yards, and he did. Is that even get considered like a push? It wasn't even. It was just kind of a framing of where his body was. I didn't understand fans saying that was something. Cade Phillips had the coverage burn that you'll remember. That was also against Dallas Wilson, and Grayson Littleton had the one down the middle there in the seam. So
4 coverage burns in this game, 12 missed tackles. I mean, it was I can't you don't put it all on the defensive line, but man, Sark says it, and it's kind of true, man. This thing kind of starts on the defensive line, and Texas. It was both lines of scrimmage, man. It was a disappointing day on both lines of scrimmage. But asking about Murad Watson specifically, I can't say he got pushed around like he did versus Ohio State.
Okay. All right.
Can I jump in real quick? So we're watching, Chad, we were at TCH, we're watching that game, and every time they hand the ball off, those backs aren't getting touched, so they're 5-6 yards downfield. And they're running between the tackles. So, like, we expected this interior defensive line with all these transfers to play like world beaters because they did in fall camp. Well, now we look at that, may have been a reflection on the Texas offensive line. Because remember, like, not to pile on these guys, and like I'm not burying them. Okay, there's a lot of football left to be played, but none of these guys were like elite transfers or elite players at their previous stops.
Well, Watson was.
Was he? He was a freshman. And he had
Freshman
like 20 tackles.
A freshman All-American?
Alex, he wasn't. Go look at his stats. He wasn't a guy that like just blew up the stats.
I didn't look at the stats. I just went and watched his film, and he's a freshman All-American.
Murad Watson is not a. What was he ranked in the transfer portal? Not even a top 100. I mean, come on, man.
I don't know.
They took a bunch of numbers, but none of these guys.
That's what I'm just saying, Jason. You can't put him in this. You can't put him in the same bucket as like the Levon Johnsons or the, like.
Well,
he's
obviously
like,
not. He's better than that. But but he's not. It's not like when David Stone entered the transfer portal for a minute. You know, I mean, it's not. Who's the dude who left and went to Ole Miss, left A&M? Walter Nolan, right? Is that him?
Yeah,
I mean, none of these guys are like, oh my God, that's a no-brainer. All SEC stud. They were all like, okay, they were serviceable players at Purdue and a role player at Ohio State and a freshman who played pretty well at Syracuse. I mean, North Carolina, a guy that, has physical skill set, but didn't do a whole lot at North Carolina. None of them were, I mean, I don't know. I look at it now, knowing what we knew about fall camp, I think they were overhyped because of the offensive linemen they were going against. Now I look at them like, okay, they are kind of what I thought they were coming out of the portal. They're decent players who can play a role, but they're not plus players at this level of football, and not in the SEC. None of them are. But I think Watson has a chance to get there, Alex, to your point. But
the only thing I would say, honestly, Jason, though, the Florida running backs, I mean, in particular, their stud, like that jump cut ability of him was really impressive.
He's a one cut and go guy, dude. He really is, man. And like Anwar saying, it's like, I don't know if like jump cuts is fine. Like to me, it's like the guys who can. I mean, his like I just say like his deceleration and then his ability to cut upfield. It's just like, dude. And then the other thing about him, Anwar, is that you probably saw it even better from bird's eye view. It's like every single time he got hit, he just kept his legs driving and he got an extra 2 yards.
Yeah.
Every time.
He reminds me of that, they teach running backs just run towards the green, right? And he looks like a guy that whenever he just sees green, he just runs towards it. Like, and to your point, Alex, he's patient running back. And then when he accelerates, I mean, he's gone. And so I feel like sometimes when I watch the Texas running backs, I feel like I just see guys just running into bodies. And I feel like they were looking for like, okay, here's a hole, and then they can accelerate through it. And again, the jump cut ability, and then finishing. And then when, I would love to see the yards after contact. So I would just say there's a little bit more I understand what you're talking, the defensive line conversation, Jason. I'm not negating that, but I'm just saying from a running back perspective, they're extremely talented.
All right. Glad you guys are in the modcast today. Shout out to those of you in the Specs chat already. We do have some super chats we will get to. Also, big shout out to Daily and Black. They are the presenting sponsor of the modcast each and every week. If you need lawyers that are going to be on your side, Daily and Black will definitely be that. They will absolutely be on your side. Also, another one of our partners I want to thank is Sinus and Snoring Specialist. We have gotten to that time of year. It's October. Weather might be about to change. I keep waiting for it to change. Sometimes in Texas, it changes a little slower, but this is that time of year where you get reminded about allergies, sinus stuff. It's flu season, all those type of things. If you've got all those issues going on, this is the place that can take care of them. Snoring, sleep apnea, all of that stuff. Check them out. 601-0303. You can securely text or call on that number. You can also go to sinussnoringent.com. Feel clear, rested, and healthy no matter what the weather's doing with sinus and snoring specialists. Please tell them that you heard about it on Orange Bloods Live. Modcast on this Tuesday. Texas OU coming up this weekend.
Has the line moved at all, Chad? With all this talk that Mateer's going to play? I'm not going to believe that he's playing it until that line moves.
That is a great question. So you know what? I'll pull it up. Anybody got the line?
Alex, you knew there was going to be a report early in the week that said there's a chance of Mateer. Because if you're Oklahoma, you want that out there. You want Texas to be preparing for both. So, I predicted that about a week or so ago. I'm like, don't be surprised when they start talking about Mateer's going to play.
I see, Alex. I see Texas by 1.5.
Oh, 1.5 now. Okay, so it's starting
to
move.
That moved, right? Wasn't it?
It was
3.5.
It was 3. Then
three,
it was 3. Then it was 2.5, and now it's 1. It was 2.5 when I checked it yesterday night. So
that's Mateer money. And last week, I guess some people maybe took the lesson right before kickoff because that money that moved last week, I guess, was about the health of DJ Lagway. Because it almost felt like that, because that line moved to, was it 5.5 at kick, something like that, where it had been a little higher.
So in the chat, Sailor Joe is saying that the PC. So Venables does his PCs on Tuesdays, right? I think I remember that. So if that's the case, he might have said something today when we were working or doing our meeting or here on the show. But he's saying I can't confirm it, but he's saying that Venables said that he hasn't gone good on good this week. I wouldn't expect him to go good on good this week because if he were to play, we're talking Saturday is 17 days post surgery for him. So it would feel like if he was going to be, it feels like he's not dipping his toe into the water at the very earliest until Saturday. And
Anwar, tell me if
does he have to go good on good before he plays?
I mean, I would think so. Anwar, everything I'm hearing on it, it feels like Mateer and his side, they're going to do everything they can to let us know he'll try, right? He's going to do his best. I feel like Venables is prepping people for Hawkins because I feel like Venables is prepping us for the backup.
Yeah, I mean, but do you believe it is the question. I mean, that's the thing. Like, these coaches and their injury reports are not, Sark ain't telling you everything as relates to, there was no, hey, Manny Muhammad may not play against Florida kind of thing, right? I mean, and then it was like, oh, snap, there's no Manny Muhammad, right? So, he might be saying it. I honestly would not pay attention to any of it at this moment because it only benefits Oklahoma to put up all the smoke screens as possible for Texas to have to prepare for both.
And also, we'll get into these super chats real quick. But the other thing that I keep thinking of is the fact that it's this hand injury. And I know it's his throwing hand, but unlike a hamstring or some of these other injuries that really do have a timetable you could compare, this one's different. I mean, I think everybody's going to respond differently to a hand surgery and how he comes back and the grip strength and all that stuff. Like, I don't know if there's any way to figure that out. But to Alex's point, 17 days from surgery to go into that game would be pretty wild.
There was somebody, they were saying that, Alex, that I think that surgeon had performed on previously, like a quarterback, and he came back pretty quickly as well. So I think that's the reason why I don't know who that quarterback was. I forget. I want to say it was like someone in the chat will know. It was someone in the NFL, and they're saying that it had the same sort of injury and was back real quick.
I wonder if he plays like Mateer though, where he's got to run around so much.
Yeah, I feel like it might have been like Josh Allen or something like that.
I mean, Allen doesn't play like Mateer, but they both certainly have.
Cody's saying Jared Goff.
Well, Jared Goff's a statue in the pocket. They could probably be able to. They would say, like, they don't have to tell him not to run.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I
Hey, you
don't
never know. I always think of it. Was it Tua that had that injury where it was Tua and the ankle at Alabama where they went in and did like a special new version of a surgery and drilled through the bone and tied it off and all this stuff. And he got back quicker than they thought. Who knows? Maybe there's something like that.
So that same surgeon is the quote unquote miracle maker apparently.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. That's what Oklahoma's looking for that. Maybe do they need a miracle to beat Texas this week? We'll see, but they want that. They want the Mateer miracle for sure. Let's start digging through some super chats here. Jake gets us started, $4.99. Do you think the O-line issues has more or less to do with Arch adjusting or not adjusting for what pressure he's seeing? So I guess that's a pre-snap, maybe is what he's saying.
No, I think I don't think it has to do with man, as I'm watching this game, clearly the offensive line played unacceptably. They played bad, but I think that they were made to look worse because Arch he really holds onto the ball for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's so much about the pressure he's seeing. I think it's more about what he's seeing as he goes through his progressions and not just holding on to the ball and how to fix that. That's why Sark gets paid, millions of bucks a year. I think that there's got to be something they can do they got to get the ball out of his hands a little bit faster because it's like some of these ones are just like, how did the offensive line do it? It's like, well, Gooseby and Baker both took their guys, 5 yards past where Arch was. And say like DJ Campbell was like they were only bringing 4 guys, right? And so DJ Campbell, like, he's holding up his guy just fine. You have Cole Hudson and left guard doing whatever they can to keep one guy occupied and stuff like that. And then Arch is holding onto the ball long enough to where these dudes that have been run past doing the old Chase Young thing, whenever he first got to the NFL for the Commanders, where he'd be like, well, he's getting He's beating the guy with this speed rush all the time, but he ends up 6 yards past the quarterback and stuff like that. That's not really a pass rush win, but like here Arch is patting the ball, trying to go through his stuff, and those guys come from back from behind him. He kind of sees him like this. He's off platform. He runs forward, and the guy that DJ Campbell's been handling fine the whole time is now on the same level as Arch, and Arch can't make the throw because he's getting his hand hit by the guy whenever he's trying to set up a new throwing platform. And so, did the offensive line play miserably? Yeah, I think they did. But Arch on a lot of those plays was kind of holding the football a little bit longer than you would like.
Yeah, and Alex, you could see the difference between him and let's say Lagway, who did a really good job of just getting rid of the ball and not holding on to it as long.
Yeah, and in terms of the theme of the show today is about fixing things. That's what Sark's got to figure out. And Alex, I saw a lot of that in the post-game reactions from people. It's like quicker passes, screen game's been brought up. Maybe you learn a lesson from the play where Sapp came free at Arch and he gets out of the way and throws the touchdown pass. Does that mean move the pocket a little more? Is he comfortable moving it right? Is he comfortable moving it left? But things need to change a little bit and quicker. Got to help this offensive line out. If you believe that these guys are going to block about that way against Oklahoma, then you help them out. You figure it out. And I think the quick passing stuff is easily an answer because Arch does hold that ball. The numbers would back that up so far around the country when you compare him to some of the other guys. There's Jason back, $9.99. Blake with a super chat. In 2009, here we go. Texas nearly won a national title with a bad O-line. And before you tell me, well, that team had Colt, go check the stats. Arch is on pace in year 1 to have the same season that Colt had in year 4. LFG with a big exclamation point. Now, Arch would.
Yeah, or we just look at. Hey, what does your eyeballs tell you?
Glass half full.
What does your eyeballs tell you? And that puts him in the Colt conversation more so than anything else. And I can go back and look. You guys watched him more than me. I saw Colt more in the NFL, but it's just these are two different beasts. There, just two different teams. And
Colt, like Alex said, Arch holding the ball, and I sense the same thing when I watched him on Saturday. Colt processed things so quickly. got it out so quickly, was crazy accurate. So, yeah, I mean, listen, Arch may be a better college quarterback than Colt at someday, but he's not right now. So,
well, and the other thing, guys, y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Last year during those 2 starts and a little bit of action in another game from Arch, I don't remember anybody saying to me, you know what this looks like to me? Colt in 08.
Well, and also, I
never heard that.
And does this defensive line look to you like? I mean, I know the defense is good, but does the offensive line look to you like, Eddie Jones and Lamar Houston and Rod McElroy and stuff?
Yeah. What does Alex? What does Alex like to say? What do I need to believe you or my lying eyes? Is that one of your things? You use lying eyes. I never heard that before, but it's really clever.
That's that's it.
I like it. I've adapted it in my own vernacular, with the kids and everybody else. And I'm like, I believe you. You cleaned out the room. I'm supposed to believe you are my lying eyes.
It does kind of work as an older person phrase.
I love old sayings and Southern sayings and everything. So I'm like, I love it. I take it. I use it all the time.
Because it is one of those that it'll stop a kid, right? If you're saying that to a child of like really 8 to 18, it'll freeze them for a second. Lying eyes. What are you talking? It's just, it'll freeze them. That's what you got to do sometimes. Got to get them to stop for a second. Oscar doesn't want to stop. $4.99 with a super chat. As we all know, the only thing that can save the season is the 16-wheeler package. Honk, honk, baby, woo. Oscar, interesting you bring it up. Fellas, they do need to, probably design, I don't know how much more, but maybe a little more than that. I see it all over the country now.
Dude, I see in the NFL last night on Monday Night Football, Trevor Lawrence and Mahomes running all over the place. So
I'm watching design runs, Jason. Yeah, NFL. When I went back and watched that wild high-scoring game when Georgia played Tennessee, both those quarterbacks. Nobody thinks of Gunnar Stockton as a runner, but Stockton and Aguilar were running quarterback power, quarterback keep.
I like Arch running on non-designed runs, man. I mean, I don't know, keeps their defensive line honest. I mean, again, I know it's not NFL, but hell, when Trevor Lawrence can make plays with his legs on uncalled runs, Arch sure as hell can do it. So that might be your best running, maybe your only running game Texas is able to salvage for the next month or so.
I said it weeks ago, guys. I think I'm right here. We're coming into a Texas OU game where the quarterback, assuming even if Mateer is not the guy and it's Hawkins, the quarterback's the best running back on both of these teams, isn't it?
I mean, technically, I just feel like my thing is I think Arch is a dual threat quarterback, and Sark doesn't want to coach a dual threat quarterback. But I think if Sark was able to adjust to the talent that he has and say, you know what, this is a weapon for him and for us. Yeah, typically I prefer, my drop back Quinn Ewers be there, and so I can call the plays kind of thick guy. But I also think that, and I said this in the Overreaction Monday video, but VY can't be VY if he's coached by Sark, because Sark will say, don't run the ball.
Or Jeff Fisher.
Yeah. Right? I don't want to go that deep, right? But he can't be, if you're told the thing that is one of your strengths, I don't necessarily want you to utilize that, or we're not going to utilize that as part of one of our packages for you. You'll do it every once in a while, or you can scramble when you don't make your reads or something to that effect. But just to say hey, this is, the same way Oklahoma a couple of years ago said, you know what, Dylan Gabriel, he can do a couple of little things. And to your point, when, the biggest comparison for him is, the Bills quarterback. That's his biggest pro comparison, but yet you don't utilize him like that. I just think if Sark said, hey, it's a strength of his, and I know when I have, a running quarterback, I can't control that person. and I want to control you and call these plays and have you do exactly what I want to do. But sometimes you just gotta let people do what they do if they're special at it. So I wish they would do that. It's probably not going to happen, but I think Arch is a dual threat quarterback that is stuck in a like kind of a pass pro kind of system.
Oscar, thank you for that super chat. Couple more to clean off. Zoe with a $10 super chat. Is there anyone on the D line who played both ways in high school? Is there any chance one of them could help patch up the O line? Oh goodness, Zoe. If it's to that point, I'm not sure what to say.
No, you might need a freaking fullback or something though.
I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you one positional thing. Like I sometimes late at night lately, I've been going on my phone and pulling up Michael Terry's huddle reel and watching him just rip off run after run after run as a traditional running back down there in San Antonio. So big, so fast, great vision. I don't understand why they don't have a package where they just see what it's like to give that guy the football once or twice.
Interesting. I like that idea. It's another good idea. Get something going quick. Try that out. That could help. Nothing will help an O-line and a quarterback more than
he was basically a running back.
Run.
He was basically a running back. He looks pretty awesome, big and fast with a lot of juice. I'm surprised they haven't given that a look, man.
Yeah, and we all know the two things you watch in this game in Texas OU. It's not always the case, but watch turnovers and watch the run game. If you can win one of them, you give yourself a great chance. You win both, you're winning that game like 80-something% of the time. You got to be able to run the ball.
And honestly, this area gets a pass because there's so many other things. But I would say watch special teams as well. And special teams hasn't been anything. This is almost year 2 where special teams has somewhat been problematic at times. It's better because you got a kicker. You got 2 kickers. Sark doesn't use them that much, but you've got 2 of them, and then you got a punter. But I would just special teams. That's another unit that's been a little bit leaky, but they get a pass because everything else has been kind of at the forefront. I'd watch out special teams.
Well, and Anwar, the thing I thought I could trust. Again, the reason I picked them to beat Florida, I thought I could trust the defense more than I could in that game. And I thought I could trust the punt game and the kicking game. That punt that was almost, dropped on the one, that almost was covered, but they didn't get it. Obviously, they got the punt blocked, which cost 2 points and a possession. And then the defense doesn't step up. But this is a game where I always say it, everything magnifies. Every 3-yard run, every punt down at the 4, every out route caught for 8 yards on 3rd and 6. Every one of them gets a pop in this game like no other game that's ever been created. So, man, if Bo Meester gets one to die on the 2 at the right moment, especially if it's Hawkins being forced to come out of, let's say, that north end zone where it's all burnt orange, down there. Key moment in the game. It turns this game. Like little things turn this game.
Charlie Strong won this game with one of the worst Texas teams we've seen in recent memory. So, like, to your point, like you can't take anything. Like even if you say, "Well, I think Hawkins isn't really that great," I will point to who were the quarterbacks for Charlie that year that Texas pulled out this win. And then was it Swoops and Hurd, or I don't know if Hurd was on campus at the time.
No, you nailed it. It was Hurd who rushed for 115 yards from the quarterback position that day.
And he couldn't pass the ball.
Could not. Foreman added 117. They ran for 313 yards that day on 58 carries.
How many passing yards did they have if you got it in front of you?
Oh, you know what? That I don't even have in front of me. Didn't even pull it up.
Ain't
not much.
So to your point, this is a game where weird things could happen.
Oh yeah, no, it is. It's a strange ball game, and that is the last time 2015, the game we're referencing. That's the last time Texas beat OU when OU was top 10 and Texas was unranked. Texas has done it 4 times ever, and the last 2 times they ran the ball like crazy, 60 times and 58 times. We'll see how they try it. I don't think they can win it that way this time, but. We'll see. Maybe they got 58 carries in them, and we just can't see it.
How many carries?
If I can guarantee you they have 58 carries, how many does Arch have? I mean, Good grief. If we get up to that number. By the way, let's thank one of our great partners and remind you about where we're watching the game, and then we'll help you if you're watching it at home. If you're going to come watch the game with us, it's right here at TCH Social Austin, 183 and Anderson Mill. Come see it on that big, beautiful screen. We'll also be peeking in on the Indiana-Oregon game, which will be going on at the same time. $2 draft, $3 jellyfish, $4 on that Fanatic cocktail. Great specials, great food. TCH Social Austin. Come see us for that. Also, if you're going to be watching at home with your folks, and you know your screen needs to get a little better, a little bigger, this is the place that can do it. Audio visual consultations. They've been doing it since 1988, all the way back. 88 is kind of that time frame when Texas had those wild wins against OU that people didn't think they were going to get, the Peter Gardere era. Yeah, that's how long AV Consultations has been rolling. Go to avconsultations.com, start taking a look at the pictures they've got. If you go to Pluckers or Cover 3 in the Austin area, they deck out all those places so you can get ideas there and then get your project started. 255-8678 or go to avconsultations.com. And as I always say, don't watch Texas OU alone. Every year I would tell you that. Don't ever watch this game by yourself. Find Longhorn people. Find people in Burn Orange to watch the game with, whether it's with us at TCH Social Austin or wherever you're going to be chilling out. If you guys want to throw us a super chat, we will get to that. We are almost cleaned off of super chats. Jay,
$20 one in there somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yes. We'll get Kevin. I'll get you real quick. For Jay says, I wasn't born yesterday night. All right. Fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go. This is the $20 from Kevin. It feels like Texas asked the O-line to do things they are not capable of doing. What can Sark do to help the offense? Spread out and quicker passing game? Just guessing here. We've already mentioned the quicker passing game part.
But that's pretty obvious. And Sark, surely he saw that on Saturday against Florida, but he said Florida did a good job of taking that away. These coaches aren't dumb. The defensive coaches they know that that's what needs to happen. Florida knew that that's what needed to happen. Oklahoma's going to know that's what needs to happen. They're going to try to take that away. So Texas has to use longer developing routes to give them more time to get to the quarterback. So it's kind of a cat and mouse game. But I mean, yeah, Kevin, I think you're right. Spread things out, quicker passing game. But sometimes that's easier said than done when that defense knows that's what you need and want to do.
And I think the other part of that too is I think it's easier to do a quicker passing game when you have receivers with top end speed, like super elite speed. There's some quick guys on this team, but as far as like just elite, super top elite, that stuff that you've seen at the combine and these guys test out, like it takes these receivers a tad bit longer to get open than what we've seen in the past.
Yeah, and the thing I would, Kevin, that maybe the simple question, hopefully Sark and Arch know the answer to this. What's the quickest route that Arch trusts the most? That's what I don't know the answer to yet. I think he likes that out route, but that takes a while. He likes a developed out route, especially when he rolls to the right. It feels like he can confidently throw that ball. That's not a quick route. What's a quick route that Arch will trust like that?
Shovel pass.
Maybe. I haven't seen it yet. Does he trust a slant? Does he like a slant?
I don't know. I think that he probably still is goosey about those, thinking back to the Ohio State game with all those misses he had. They tried to give him those easy looks on those slants.
Yeah, you're right. Rob, maybe that's it, right? Has it been – I've heard that theory that even after that, maybe that first throw against Ohio State just kind of messed with his mind for a long period because it just never, eventually got better than that. But for a while, it did seem to kind of mess with him. Jay, thank you for that one. I'll get your other super chat in. This is Sailor Joe jumping back in. $5. Will we ever see Terry French or Lockett play? These are 5-star recruits, but other teams have freshmen outperforming upperclassmen. Alex, this is to your point about Terry. I'd forgotten about everybody focused on Dallas Wilson, but I'd forgotten that Vernell Brown was a freshman. I was mixing him up with a guy that had been at Florida a while. That dude, too, makes that big catch across the middle. That's a true freshman. So, I think we can all understand why Texas fans are asking this type of question about these 3 5-stars.
I mean, I think, look, Texas needs to they need to. Cody and I talked about this on our show last night, and it's like whenever you lose on a Decorian Moore or something like that, you think to yourself, "Oh, it's okay. It's probably better to get a Jamie French and a Kalik Lockett," and it could be right for the same price. That in some ways it could be right, but I think Decorian Moore would be playing for Texas right now. I mean,
you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It's it is frustrating to think about like the super elite 5-stars that Texas has gotten over the course of the last 2 years. Brandon Baker took a year to where he was starting. Justice Terry played 2 snaps versus Florida. Wingo played at least as a freshman, but not much. He played some. He was a wide receiver 4. And then you got Kalik Lockett, Jamie French, Terry, who, Dalen McCutcheon's playing more than any of those guys. I don't really know what to say. Clearly we would have liked to. You'd like them to be out there looking. One of them to be out there looking like a Dallas Wilson. I look at Dallas Wilson. I'm like, that might be one of the best wide receivers that Texas face. They're going to face some good wide receivers this season. They've already faced Jeremiah Smith. I think Dallas Wilson's going to be on a short list with Jeremiah Smith is like the best that they face as far as the regular season. Look, if you look at the schedule and look at the personnel, that kid's sick. I think I'm not saying it's a recruiting miss. I was big on French. I was big on Lockett, but for some reason they're not. For some reason, they're a little hesitant.
At some point, Alex, like somebody's got to hit, right? Like you can't have, and I'm not coming at you as I say it. I'm just like, well, in the spirit of the question, you've got all these freshmen that are supposed to be elite. 2 of them are 5-stars, right? And it's easy to just look and it's like, well, they've got their guy. He's doing this. It's easy to say, well, okay, yeah, well, you got Ryan Wingo in year 2, so you're like, okay, well, at what point is somebody on this offense going to pop? Because right now, they don't have anybody as a receiver who's on target to get 1,000 yards. They definitely don't have a running back who's on pace to get 1,000 yards at this moment too. So, like, you have 2 positions, your skill positions, are really a step back from what you've had previously.
And that's not to say that I'm a fan of I'm a fan of Wingo. I'm a fan of Livingston. I'm a fan of DeAndre Moore. I think that they're great, but that's not the question that was asked. It's like, why are the 5-stars not playing? And like, I don't have a good answer for it. I mean,
yeah. And if you haven't played them by now, you probably don't debut them against OU.
Hey, Chad, Alex is about to roll, but this will be the last time I speak to Alex for the week. So, Alex, the thing that gives me great joy is to hear how you used to get into the Cotton Bowl for the Texas OU games. Yeah. Can you share for everybody? Because Chad, I don't know if you know this. You probably don't know this.
I may not. No, I don't think I've heard this.
Alex used to have a really good way to get into the Cotton Bowl to watch these games.
There wasn't anything too sneaky about it. I mean, it was just the old like. See, back then it was the old $20 handshake. It's just like you just walk up, you get a big like corn dog in your hand. Like you get like all I do is I get a corn dog in one hand. I get like a the little that wax paper cup, that you get the beer in. You drink the beer, and then you get the cup, and that way you don't got to get you don't have to put the ketchup and mustard on the corn dog. You just put them in the cup and dip it in there, right? And so you get that thing really dipped up with a bunch of ketchup and mustard. So it's real messy when you're up there dealing with the guy that's supposed to take your ticket, kind of get it kind of up in his face, grab his hand, shake his hand, give him it used to be 20. It's probably 50 now, I'm sure.
I bet it's 100 now. That's how I was wondering.
Yeah, 100 now.
Yeah. I bet it is. I bet it's 100 today.
You have to just distract him with the whole corn dog thing.
And now everybody does their tickets on their phone. So I don't know if it'd work as well. It used to be you had to hand them a paper ticket.
Oh, see, I don't know. This could be swindled. If there's 2 offers now,
Alex,
done. Yeah.
Alex, what's you're all about numbers and percentages. What was your percent success rate?
100% chance. Yeah.
You're 100% in?
100% in every single time.
Did any of them?
Those guys don't care.
Did any of them ever ask for a bite of the corn dog?
No, the corn dogs.
No?
That's just a diversionary technique. Technically, you're not even supposed to bring it in.
That's fantastic.
And where did you sit? Where did you sit during the game?
You just gotta go and you gotta walk around and like you gotta be one of these dirt balls who just looks for. You just kind of gotta mill around for a long time until the game starts.
You gotta be a dirt ball. All right, dirt ball.
Like first quarter, by like mid first quarter, you like, oh, I probably can sit there.
Yeah.
Dirt ball. We appreciate your time today. Have a good one.
All right, boys. I'll see y'all soon.
Alex Dunlap, ladies and gentlemen.
It's one of my favorite Dunlap stories.
Dude, I had not heard that. Anwar, thank you for having him say that. I have not heard that one. It's a good technique. I don't know if it would work in 2025. Maybe
probably not with technology nowadays.
Yeah, with the QR codes and stuff. I don't know if we can pull that off. All right, we got a few super chats here. Jay back in with a $5. I expect our run game Saturday to be the horizontal stuff behind the line to running backs. I'm assuming he means those little kind of a swing pass out there or whatever. Jay, if you block the play right, if you work the math right and block the play right, that stuff can work. It's all about how you block it.
I'm hoping Jay's being sarcastic because that sounds like a recipe for disaster against this Oklahoma defense.
Yeah,
they're running horizontally. You're not going to get the corner with this blocking and these backs. I don't think that's going to work for Texas.
Yeah, OU's very, very active defense. They've really improved over the last year or so. There were times last year where they obviously weren't great. I don't know if they're great right now, but they're really damn good. And yeah, I don't know if that works either. This was a general. Here's the one from Arthur, $4.99. Great analysis, guys. Anwar, queuing you up. How many 5 stars do you need?
Well, again, thank you, Arthur. So thank you. So my moniker or my saying was always, well, how many 5 stars do you need to beat TCU? That was my thing in the Big 12, because I would hear everybody say, well, they just got to recruit more 5 stars, got to get more 5 stars and super blue chips and blah, 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 super blue chips. Do you know how many percentage of these guys go to the NFL to get drafted? La, 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 la. I'm like, how many of these guys do you need to beat TCU? Like, just tell me this. How many do you need to beat TCU? How many need to beat Baylor? How many do you need to beat Kansas? Like, we got to that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm literally at the point now it's like, because that's going to be the all-season. Well, you got to get some more 5 stars. You know what? Texas got a lot of 5 stars. These bitches ain't playing. So how many do you need? How many will be developed? I am, you play against Florida, and Florida's got some talent. But how many of these guys do you need to just dominate UTEP? Dominate San Jose State? Like, that. The scary part about the season is, we haven't even gotten into the tough part for Texas yet. Like, after Ohio State, this was like supposed to be the easy part. These 4 games. Now that they're actually getting into the tougher part, there's 2 things that scare me. They're getting into the tougher part of it because now they're going to face teams that actually have a pulse. And they struggled against teams that didn't have a pulse. I don't give a damn about Florida. Florida lost to my USF Bulls just a few weeks ago. Florida had a coach that was 4 quarters away from getting fired. They lose 28-7 this past weekend, 31-6, something like that. They may fire Napier over the weekend. I was talking to people at Gainesville, because obviously I used to live in Florida, and I was talking to people who were telling me that they've already were talking to their sources about who the next coach could potentially be and who they're going to pursue. So everyone in Gainesville thought this Napier was a dead man walking. This program was done. No one even expected to win outside of people in the locker room. And Texas hasn't even faced an Oklahoma team that's good, a Mississippi State team that's good, right? Kentucky's below average. Vanderbilt will be good, right? What scares me is next year they're actually going to face like great programs, elite programs, the Tennessee's, the Ole Miss. So man, they've got to figure some things out even before we get to next year. I'm just like, to me, like, you got enough 5-stars. Like, at some point, are you going to coach these guys up, or are you just going to talk about the things that you don't have? And that's kind of where I'm at. I don't know.
Yeah. Here's somebody else with some of that frustration. I think Texas fans are watching right now. Sandman says DK Moore, KC Concepcion, that Georgia wide receiver, that'd be Branch, Dallas Wilson, SMH. It's two things, Sandman, that causes the frustration, and you mixed it perfectly. Guys, it's transfer talent at wide receiver, and it's young talent at wide receiver. Texas is
But they
seeing
have young
neither.
talent that's supposed to be on this roster.
Exactly.
And so this is the question, maybe unpopular. Is DK Moore here? Concepcion, Dallas Wilson? Because according to the recruiting rankings, Texas acquired guys who were supposed to be just as good as the guys that they lost. So are those guys the difference makers, Jason and I were talking about earlier today, it's a chicken or the egg thing, or are those guys, would those guys come here and we would be saying, why is DK Moore not playing? And why is Dallas Wilson not playing? Like, that's what you don't know.
Yeah.
DK Moore would be playing.
And you also, I think he would. Yeah. I think DeCorey.
Okay, if he's playing, is he making an impact? Does he have a quarterback that can get him the ball?
But look, like I have two questions on that. Are those guys, were they overrated? Or I guess it's three questions. Overrated for one. Is the staff just not willing to take a risk, which we've seen before? Or is Chris Jackson not developing them quickly enough? I know they've only been on campus for 9 months, but I mean, what have we seen? We've seen McCutcheon play a little bit, of course. I think Lockett maybe has one catch. I don't think French or Michael Terry have a catch. Maybe I'm wrong there, but I mean, if they do, it certainly wasn't memorable. So, yeah, I mean, to your point, Almar, why is the development so far behind of where it should be of players that were so highly regarded coming out of high school?
And I'll give y'all guys two people to think of for this game. I think we can all agree they're probably not. If they've been holding back one of these freshman guys for some play against OU, that's just silly to me. I don't think we're going to see that. So maybe it's back to my earlier point. Find routes that Arch is comfortable with, preferably ones that get rid of the ball quickly, and see if you can show people why you went after number 3, Mosley, and number 88, injuries. You try to trick play to injuries and you just missed it. You had Mosley open. So Sark could tell us, like, fellas, I tried to show everybody why I got those guys in the transfer portal. Maybe you double down on that. Anwar, you look like you're smelling bad food right now. You don't like this idea?
No. I was. Nope. I saw something about, like, Tex Blonde in the chat told some guy to go back to school and learn how to spell that you can't even troll right. So I was just laughing at it. I don't know what's going on in the chat. But it's like every time you do your show, that every once in a while you peek in the chat, you're like, what the hell is going on in there? Then you have to go back. So that's what that was. You caught me in I was reading a Tex Blonde comment.
Yeah, because I know I mean, it's not a thank you, Sam, man, for the comment. It's not a thrilling thought to think, hey, let's get some plays to that, not incredibly fast receiver and that tight end, but that is what you did in the portal. It is. For better or worse, that's what Sark did in the portal. Show them why. And again, maybe he's saying, I tried in the swamp. I had a double pass and we airmailed injuries. And then we had another pass set up, and somehow Arch overthrew Mosley while being hit. Where does that ball end up if Arch doesn't get hit? In the seats? In a tunnel? Like, that was an amazing throw. That's about as strong a throw as I've ever seen. So I don't know. Maybe that's part of it too. If Mosley loves to run a crossing route and Arch can see it quickly, it'll develop fast. Get a couple of those out early, and maybe that gets you some momentum. I don't know. Just a thought. We did have another super chat, I think. Yes. Jacob coming in with a $9.99. Do you blame play calling for Arch not running more often through his progressions or his lack of reps? I see him and Mateer having very similar skill sets, but different progressions.
I've watched Mateer quite a bit this year. I haven't sat here and watched every snap of every game, of course, but he does seem to process things a little quicker when he takes off running. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's about getting through his progressions quicker, lack of reps. Mateer has a lot more reps than Arch does, obviously, at previous stops. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like Arch is just a tick off getting through his progressions. But again, some of that, I thought that when I was watching the game on Saturday, but then Sark on Monday said, hey, some of that was because of what the defensive schemes were doing. They were forcing him to kind of go through these progressions, maybe take things a little slower and hold the ball a little bit longer. But you don't know, man. I just think, like Anwar said, I don't know that it's encouraged for Arch to be a runner as much as maybe it should be. Like, dude, that is probably the strength of your offense right now. When he takes off running, I mean, those are your explosive plays on the ground games, your only explosive plays on the ground game, and the passing game's still a work in progress. So I would like to see them encourage Arch to run the ball more. I mean, yeah, you're putting him in harm's way a little bit to some degree, but
I mean, he's in harm's way by sitting back there with the offensive line and waiting for a play to progress. Like he's probably more so in harm's way as a drop back passer than if you told him, like, get the hell out of there because it's a freaking fire drill, dude. You're about to get killed.
Yeah. And Arch is big. We've seen it. I mean, he's taken some shots. He's a big, physical, durable guy. I don't think you have to be as concerned with him getting banged up as you do, Mateer.
No, you don't.
Obviously, right? So.
And Anwar, I like Arch as a running weapon better than I like Mateer. This Oklahoma offense has fooled people. When they beat Auburn, people acted like the offense was good. Mateer averaged 2.9 yards per carry that day. The team averaged 1.2. Whatever we think of the Texas offense, statistically, OU's worse. Like the notion that this whole thing with Mateer, pick your quarterback that can run. His little comment about Manziel, the question, all that is silliness. That's not who he is. I mean, to me, as a pure run threat quarterback, to me, Arch has done more than Mateer has. I would definitely make him a weapon.
Well, I would disagree with that. And the reason why I would disagree with that to a certain degree is that at least you can say, well, Oklahoma, maybe they haven't faced as many great teams, but at least they faced more teams that probably they faced more teams. At least they have had more of a pulse than Texas has. Again, you'd be nitpicking, right? If you're going Illinois State, Michigan, Temple. Which was on the road, by the way. I don't understand how that happened.
Yeah, I don't know how that one got scheduled either. That's a good call.
Why are you going to a Temple? Like, that should never happen.
I think your argument is sound until Texas plays Florida and they were healthy and looked like that. I would say now it maybe ticks a little towards Texas in terms of quality of teams you've played. I think it goes Texas way just a little bit.
Nonetheless, I don't, Arch, Arch still has something to prove, and at this point, Mateer can hang his hat on like they beat Michigan. Texas doesn't have a quality win on its schedule at this moment.
Yeah. Jacob, thank you for that one. Also, Jason Colby threw this one in. Derek Cooper making the trip to the Red River Rivalry. Another good reason for Texas to maybe play well and show them some things. Commit Derek Cooper is on a lot of Texas fans' mind.
Yeah, I pinned that one for a reason. 5-star running back. I literally confirmed with someone close to Derek, like right as we were going on there, he will in fact be at the game this weekend. So that was kind of the plan all along, but it was double confirmed today. So 5-star running back commitment. Derek Cooper will be there. Be a good weekend for the offensive line to bounce back and actually show it can run block.
I heard Michael Taft this week say it's impossible to describe it to another player what Texas OU is all about. They just have to do it. They have to go through the process. And for a recruit, I would imagine it feels the same way. You can think about it. You can think you know what it is. You can be a badass from the state of Florida that maybe you've been to Miami games and Florida games and cool games in Tallahassee. Ain't nothing like Texas OU. So Derek Cooper gets a peek at that this week, and hopefully that will go well for him, and hopefully it goes well for Texas for the sake of that whole discussion. Thank you guys for all the chats. Thank you all for jumping in. Before we wrap up, I do have one more thing to show you. Hopefully one of the two of them or both make you a little bit hungry. We had somebody chat us this week and say they were headed out to Hayes City Store at some point to celebrate their wife's birthday. I've done that. I've done my parents' birthdays. They have the same birthday, so take them both out there. You just check it both off the list. But this pork chop is unreal now. The grilled is awesome. The blackened. They've got a chicken fried pork chop as well. If you want to go to Hayes City Store and you just don't know where to start, those are 3 good places to start. Their chicken fried steak is excellent as well. And that new sundae is getting a lot of talk as well. I did sample that one a little bit. It was my daughter whose arm you see there. She's about to dig into it once I take that picture. That brownie sundae is unbelievable. Go check them out. FM 150 out in Driftwood. Tell Travis, Tamara, and the crew we said hello here from Orange Bloods Live. All right, gentlemen, mods, if you will. Anything else we need to do before we close up? Any other pearls of wisdom from either one of you?
Nah, man, it's going to be an interesting week. I would just say, Texas needs a win big time. They need to win, because the ramifications of a loss is this is a team that at that point they won't make the playoffs. You can say that, because then now you got to go best case scenario, and you haven't even gotten to Georgia. You haven't gotten, you haven't gotten to Texas A&M, right? And so they can't afford it, another loss, because another loss definitely means this is not a playoff team, and we're talking about some bowl game, Cheez-It Bowl or Reliant Bowl, whatever, and it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be ugly. So whatever they need to figure out, they need to figure out quickly, if possible. But
those other bowls sting.
Those other bowls are basically it's the NIT of college football. If you don't go to the playoffs, you are going to some meaningless game that nobody cares about, because everybody else is in the real tournament and you're in the NIT. And look, Texas, shock. You don't want to be in that shock and smart category. I can tell you that much.
Oof, yeah, no, you don't. Jason, anything else?
No, kind of echo what Anwar said. I wrote about my 3-2-1. I mean, Texas needs this win, as Anwar said, to potentially salvage their season, keep it alive at the very least. But also from a recruiting perspective, they're kind of at an interesting crossroads. I won't go all into it, but I detailed it in my 3-2-1. You can read it there. Texas is struggling while A&M and possibly Oklahoma are ascending. So Texas needs to kind of even the playing field a little bit, starting with a win this weekend.
Real quick for both of you, would knowing who the OU quarterback is change your pick in this game? Is it that important to you?
If I knew he was going to be playing at like 90%, yeah. But I mean, if he plays, he may be playing at 60%. I don't even know what exactly the hand injury is. Yeah. How's it going to affect his mechanics, his throwing, his accuracy, his ball control? So I don't really have a good answer to that. If Mateer was healthy, yeah, I'm picking Oklahoma. If he's not healthy, I don't know. My gut's telling me Texas, but I don't know the specifics of his injury enough to answer that.
I don't think it makes a difference for me. I think that this team for me has lost the benefit of the doubt. I gave them the benefit of the doubt throughout the offseason. I gave them the benefit of the doubt as relates to the transfer portal and the things that they did or did not do. I gave them the benefit of the doubt during the spring and the training camp, and gave them the benefit of the doubt where we heard the offense was struggling against this defense, but gave them the benefit of the doubt that eventually the offense will just pull it together. Gave them the benefit of the doubt after Ohio State and try to say, okay, it's defending national champions on the road. Those kind of things can happen. Gave them the benefit of the doubt, like, okay, well, now they just got to get it together versus San Jose State, UTEP. Florida happened, and now I'm just done. So until they prove to me, Chad, that hey, this team is going to achieve something that they achieved last year. Until they prove to me that they're better than the teams that we thought that they should be better than. Nah, unfortunately. I probably will have to go with another team and hell, you probably don't want any of us picking Texas anymore at this point. You want to reverse jinx, but
The damn quarter got it right though.
The quarter's getting it right, huh? Yeah.
No, we got it right. The quarter got it right last week, but
I think that's what I'm trying this week too. The reverse psychology. I'll go through stretches where I just cannot read Texas. So when I pick them to win, it feels like they lose. So I think this week I may go the other way, and I go the Anwar route of not giving them the benefit of the doubt, and hopefully they can prove me wrong. That's kind of where I'm going to lean.
And prove not only as individuals to themselves. Chad.
Yes.
I mean, they have to prove to themselves. Like, this is, Sark always talks about this being every year is a new year. Every year is a new team, right? And so this team can't rest on what happened in 2024 or 2023. That's not carried over. So they themselves have to prove that, Arch has got to prove to himself that, hey, I can be an elite quarterback. These running backs have to prove it. These wide receivers have to prove it, right? The defense has to prove to themselves that last week was an anomaly, right? So it's not just like me and some sort of like prove it to me. I don't mean it like that, right? I don't sing on a throne and say someone has to prove it to me, but they have to show more so than anything else that they can do it, but they also have to show themselves that they can do it.
Yeah, it's a full trust thing for me. If this was just the Texas defense against the OU offense, I think I'd pick Texas. If that was all it was, if it was those two units, I'd pick Texas. This is it's a full football game, and I don't trust the other parts of it. I don't trust Texas' ability to score enough points in this game. Please prove me wrong, Texas. Arch Manning, please, I'm begging you. Prove me wrong and run glasses commercials and tell me I look dumb in your glasses. Please. All right. Reminder again, we will be out at TCH Social Austin, 183 and Anderson Mill for our watch party. Come on out, get a $3 jellyfish, $2 select drafts, that Fanatic cocktail, great as well. And make sure you pile in for the post-game show. Will it be a 2-minute warning kind of game or not? We'll see. Adam Lowy and the Lowy Law Firm will sponsor it either way. And Mr. Anwar Richardson will be there for another Texas OU game to cover. Any idea how many this is for you, Anwar, numbers-wise?
First one was 2014.
So you're at about 11 of these, 10, 11, 12, somewhere in there?
Yeah, 11, well, 2025 minus 2014. If that my math is correct, that's 11. This would be the 11th.
Good run.
One. Yeah, even covered it, during the COVID year where there wasn't a lot of people out there. So been through a lot. I'd hate to see the winning percentage. It's definitely.
No, we don't. You know what?
I want to see that.
Let's not look that up. We won't even look that up, Anwar. We won't even look. Here's what we'll talk about. We'll talk about the second one you saw in 2015 that you referenced earlier.
2015. There's only been a few good ones. 2015. The 18 with Ellinger in the regular season.
Hey, you were there for 83-3 combined in the last two wins.
And then the last two out of 3.
Right? Come on. 83-3 Texas fans. That's what you got to
ignore the other like 7 or so.
We'll talk about those. We're going to cling to 83-3 is what we're going to try to do. All right. Shout out to Specs for bringing us the Specs chat. Thank you guys for jumping in today. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and getting your notifications. Until next Tuesday at noon, it's the Modcast on Orange